this is what you're gonna get because I'm not wearing glasses. I'm gonna be like,
I think we're good to start.
cute.
Is my
Okay.
audio quality, am I close enough? Or
Yeah, you are. Am I close enough as well?
I have no idea.
Does I sound good in your ears?
You do sound good enough in my ears, but also now I have different AirPods, so I can't really judge anything.
Okay. Well, we'll find out one way or another. I'll just
should I
talk
take
quite
a-
loudly.
Should I take away Gingerbread Man?
No, I like him. He's very cute.
Okay. I forgot him. I forgot about him.
Cute. Are you
Okay.
doing the intro?
Okay. Welcome to another episode of the Matcha Diaries with your co-hosts Cara and Leo.
Hello.
We're very excited because this is going to be a Valentine's Day special, which you may notice from the red light in Cara's background.
Yeah.
Made a jumper. We've got the themed cup. I say
You're
cup
very
because
Valentine's Day themed, to be fair. I realized I don't have any red/pink tops. So that's something for you.
something to consider for next year, you know?
I know how unprepared I
Can't
am
believe
for
it.
this episode. I did paint my nails red though, so that's the closest you're gonna
See, that's
get.
good. My nails are just clear, so we've got no
There
no
we go.
theme there
Compromise.
going
Balance. Balance
Exactly.
is important.
Together we are a fully Valentine's Day themed person.
Facts.
What are your thoughts on Valentine's Day?
I'm not as much of a hater of it as I think a lot of people are. Like, I'm not like obsessed with it, and I don't care too much for it. But I
Yeah.
think it's a nice excuse for like and I always do a little date night anyways on Valentine's Day. So it's like a nice excuse to just do something special with your partner. But we don't deep it as like the one day in February that we actually go on a date, you know?
Yeah.
Like every day should feel that special.
I agree.
But it's nice to have a reason. But
Yeah.
I don't want flowers during Valentine's Day. I don't care for it. Or if he's gonna buy them like 3 days before or like a week before.
Yeah.
Because
I feel very non-judgmental about it. Like, I think it's so cute. I love love.
Yeah.
Like, I love any, celebration of it, whatever day you choose. I do think there's something, and I've definitely participated in like all types of rituals on Valentine's Day. Like, I've participated in the galentines. I've participated in the going to a restaurant with your boyfriend. I've participated in the having like a romantic date night, and I've also not participated in it because Marco's very anti-Valentine's
He's very
Day.
anti.
Yeah, he's very like, it's a capitalist invention, which it is, and we should love our partner like all days of the year, and like and he does bring me flowers so much, so
Yeah.
I also see that perspective. But
so
I
wait,
also
does
think
he refuse to like go out on Valentine's Day?
he wouldn't refuse. It's just like not something he would actively
something.
choose because it's Valentine's Day,
Yeah,
I
fair.
just think he just doesn't care about it, which I also think is fair. And actually, I am now at a point where I actually think the Galentine's Day element, or like the self-care element, is really, really sweet. And
Yeah.
I think that's maybe more special because maybe sometimes we do need that push to tell people in our life we love them extra much, and like make an opportunity for like friends to get together and
Yeah.
write them notes. And I think that's super cute, and like I think there's nothing not to love, or like to spend that day. Like, I've also been single on Valentine's Day, and I remember really liking it actually because it's
Cute.
Yeah, either something to like focus on being with your friends, or to also be like, oh, this is like my time to like treat myself because like
Yeah.
I deserve to.
Do you have any Valentine's Day plans this year?
We have some a bit quirky plans this year. So there's a club in Amsterdam called Sissies.
Not clubbing.
There's a club in Amsterdam which is like reopening a room, and it's like a very famous club, and we have like a group chat with like a couple of like our couple friends actually, and we're all going to this club now together.
You're going
so I think
clubbing.
we're going
Valentine's
clubbing.
Day.
So
What
we're
the
gonna
hell?
go, I think it's like 3 or 4 couples plus like some other friends, and I already know of like other friends who are also going. Like, I think all of Amsterdam is gonna be at this
All
club.
of Amsterdam. Wait, that's
So I'm
actually so
excited.
funny.
So I'm assuming like obviously everyone will do like dinner separately, but I think that's kind of cute.
That is very cute, to be fair. I am planning a little Valentine's Day thing this year as well. Well, me and a few of the work girlies are probably gonna go get cocktails or something together. So
That's so fun.
I think my goal this year is to have like a Valentine's Day thingy, and then also
Yeah.
just like a cute day with Ed. So I'm
Yeah.
at least like I'm celebrating love all around me. You know?
No, I think that's a great idea. I think that's a
Yeah.
great idea. And I think my goal is to do something for Marco. I know that he won't do anything for me
you.
on Valentine's Day because he refuses to, but he does a lot for me just
Yeah.
all around. So I think
Hey,
I did the
you
same
might
like
make him fall in love with Valentine's Day just because he.
it's
he
also
knows
my
he'll get
mission even
treated
with
nicely.
Christmas. Yes. Because he hates
I-
Christmas, but I've made him not hate it as much.
We need to get him on the mic so he can explain why he hates like every holiday.
I mean, I think it's
What does
just
What does he think of New Year's? Obviously, it's
Maybe-
your birthday, so he's gonna be happy on the first day. But the actual like celebrating New Year's Eve and the countdown.
I think
and
that's
everything.
different because I think he feels ambivalent about it. But I think it's because that's not like a capitalist holiday as much, right? Like people don't encourage purchasing. Maybe also, yeah, they do. But I feel like it's a bit different.
You know the money that is spent on fireworks.
Yeah, that's also true. But I think it's just like he feels ambivalent about it. But it's the
Yeah,
same.
fair.
He's got exactly the same mindset as my dad. Like he feels exactly the same way. What is it with Southern European men? I don't know. Please,
We need
if
to
you have a
uncover
Southern
this.
European
I want to know
boyfriend.
why. Like, what were they told when they were kids? Like,
I mean, I also get it. Like, I think if you're more of a cynic, then you see all of these holidays for like what they actually are, which is like capitalist inventions to trap us further into purchasing things that we actually don't need, which is completely
would you say
true.
Marco's a cynic?
I think when it comes to these things, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Which I think a lot of people are, and I think that's totally fair. But I also think you should allow people, to just enjoy and, like, again, find the little ways in which we can romanticize our life, even though it may not, objectively make that much sense, because that's kind of all we've got right now. So I think we all need extra love at the moment because there's so much not love going around. So
I feel like my mindset at the minute is, oh, a reason to celebrate? Okay.
No,
let's do
exactly.
it.
I think that's a very good reason. Also, February is kind of a gloomy month. Like, what else is happening in Feb?
I know. I actually thought that, like, oh, by the way, we're recording this on the 1st of February. How crazy. But last night I was like, oh, it's like fucking shit. January's over. I just hate January.
Really? See, I love January.
I like it to some extent in terms of like new beginnings. You can start fresh, like get rid of all the burdens of last year. Like I enjoy that. But I don't know. I think it's just like so gloomy. It feels like the longest month.
That
Everyone's,
I agree with.
like,
This January
barely
felt
getting
like
through
20 million years.
Everyone's like barely getting through their paychecks
Yeah, that is
because you
that
get
is
paid
very,
so
very
early
true.
in December.
Yeah.
Um,
Facts, I didn't even think of
So-
that. It did feel like a very long time between from my last got paid till now. That's why.
I know someone that I think it was like the 19th of January, and he messaged me and he was like, I have £12 to spend for the rest of the month."
No.
That he was like, thank God for credit cards. I'm like, yeah, I feel you on that.
That's so upsetting. Yeah, that's very, very
Yeah.
true. I agree with that. Like, this January has felt like light years long, to be honest. But then I also feel like February doesn't have the new beginning anymore. It's just as gloomy. The only good thing about February is that it's a short month and that you're like one step closer to spring.
Yeah.
Because actually normally
February
it
is when
starts
I
like
feel the
getting
taste
colder.
of- yeah, no. But that,
Like
but
nowadays,
February's when
Feb, it starts snowing.
True. Fuck. No. Ugh.
But I agree.
That's
Like
annoying.
I've been seeing some buds on some very bare trees outside of my window. So
I love that. I
Yeah.
feel like I was also just very boring. I like had such a tame January, which low-key I think I needed. I think December was a bit crazy. So like it was a nice calm like I didn't have that many plans or anything. Like literally no plans. And like being
That's
ill and
so
stuff, so
nice.
it was nice. But I think now I'm like, okay, no. Girl needs to get out of she's a hermit. She needs to get out.
Yeah.
So
hibernation era.
I might go to a museum today.
Oh wait, I love that.
I think Ed and
Which
I were
museum?
like, we need to do some. No clue yet. We're just planning. We're like, we need to get out the house. Let's go to the museum.
I mean, you should definitely go to like the V&A or because that's such a good walk as well, and you're so close.
Okay, perfect. I'll do that then.
That's like where the Natural History Museum is as well. You know, they're like
yeah. Oh,
right
I love
opposite each other.
I love that museum. I've been there, so it's cute.
Yes. Have you been to the V&A?
I don't think so.
Okay, you have to go.
I'll do that.
Ed is gonna love it. It's like English core, filled with all of the things that they stole.
Oh, great.
From all of the other countries.
I
think
that.
we went there together.
Oh, is that the one?
It's like a very old building and it's like really beautiful.
Okay. I'm so bad at names. Like I just rock up in places. Is that the one with where it's like really white and when you go in? And then there was like the Egypt side we walked through. Is that where we went? Oh, okay, then I've been there.
I think so.
I don't know.
Anyways.
It's
a good day trip. I'm gonna go to my first ever ballet class.
Oh my gosh.
Since I was 4 years old, so that should be exciting.
I felt like such an idiot asking you if they give you shoes, and you were like, Cara, it's not like spinning class where they provide you shoes. I was like, I don't fucking know.
I mean, that'd be great. If you know a ballet studio that gives you shoes. Ballet equipment is expensive. It's like horse riding, like you have to come with your own kit.
Yeah, but then that's why I was like, for a beginner's class, it would make sense for them. Like, why would you invest in shoes if you only want to try it once and then not do
But
it?
you can just go barefoot, yeah.
Yeah,
or with socks.
Surprise, I didn't know that. I thought you had to wear the shoes.
No, I think this is a real beginner class. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Like, I'm hoping for nothing difficult. I'm so curious as to like how I'm gonna find it and how I'm gonna keep up. So I'm a bit scared, but it's gonna be okay.
I think you're gonna come out and be like, I'm gonna fall in love with this.
I hope so. I'm like, do I make a ballet bun? Do I gel my hair back?
Like properly and do the whole like posture thing.
Yeah, because obviously I'm not gonna like buy any shoes or like ballet equipment until I know that this is gonna be like something I want to do. But
I also love ballet clothes. Like
me too.
There's the influencer that you showed me. What's her
Luna
name?
Montana.
Yeah. Oh my god,
I love her.
Like, outfits are so cute.
Mhm. If you guys need someone to like watch in the gym or like just watch to feel calm, either of those, I highly recommend YouTuber.
In the gym.
No, because I always watch her vlogs like on the treadmill.
Oh, fair.
Because obviously she basically is like she used to do ballet like for all of her life and she still does ballet, and it's like that's what a lot of her content is about. And I just find it so entertaining and like actually so motivating, especially when you're doing like running or something, because you can see someone else. Like, I just find it so cool to watch ballet dancers like go about their life.
She's in the Nutcracker, right? Like she always does it annually.
Yes, every December.
Yeah, I love those videos where she like finds out what role she's gonna be.
Me too.
Yeah,
highly recommend, guys. Okay, this episode is gonna be very fun and special. It's our Valentine's Day special edition where we're gonna be answering advice questions. Part 1 is going to be all about friendship, and part 2 is going to be all about love and romantic questions. But you know what? Yeah, friendship over everything. So that's what, the first part is going to be about.
Also the easiest one to talk about.
You think? Because we were talking about this, like, what is the easier one? I think romantic questions are easier to respond to.
I feel like I feel more pressure if I'm like giving boyfriend girlfriend relationship advice, because I'm like, there's a responsibility here. If I give the wrong advice, a relationship could end. Whereas I think if a friendship ends, I'm like, okay.
Really? I think it's the opposite. If a relationship ends, I don't feel that way about our relationships, but like dating related things, I think things can often be much simpler than like friendships. You have so much
it's
complexities,
like your whole life.
Yeah, so many years probably involved, and it's like they're like friendships are your identity in a way that like your relationship shouldn't be.
I think it's for me, it's more like I feel less responsibility if a friendship ends than if a relationship ends. But also, it's not my responsibility.
No, it's not.
I just get that out of my head.
Yeah. Take all of our advice with a pinch of salt. We are not professionals in any way.
Our experience, what we know.
Yes, exactly. And we could be very wrong. And it could also be, when sometimes someone gives you advice and you're like, I disagree with that so wholeheartedly. Now I know what to do instead.
Yeah,
so
it
like could
still
also be
gives you
that.
like clarity.
Exactly. It's the classic thing of like when you don't know what decision to make, and then you do like the random draw, and then you listen to your initial reaction
Yeah, I love
to
that
whatever
one.
you get, like whether it's excitement or like disappointment. That's what we're aiming for here, okay?
So either way, you're welcome because you're gonna benefit from us.
Exactly.
It's so funny.
Okay.
I also just had something in my eye. Weird.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just had to do this. Okay. Should I ask the first advice?
Yes.
question? Okay, so somebody messaged us on Instagram. Thanks for everyone that contributed to this.
Yes.
And they said, what do you think about friends that stay friends with people who hurt you before? Ah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've both been in this situation, right?
Yeah.
I think it's really difficult, and I'm actually going through this right now in a way, which I can't talk about on the podcast because it like obviously involves other people and
Personal.
it's not my place to speak on it. But I do
Yeah.
think it's a hard situation to navigate. I really think it depends on the extent of the hurt that was caused.
Yeah.
And I think the most important thing is that you have expressed your feelings to the person who is still staying friends with them and understanding their reasonings for doing so.
Yeah.
Because I think often, again, like life is not black and white, and people have individual friendships, and sometimes it can be hard to just expect someone to end their own complex friendship that might have contributed a lot of good in their life for something that hurt you, because that's very much like putting you at the center of everything, and like everything evolves around you.
Yeah.
However, I do think that has limits. And it also depends on your friendship with the person that is still friends with the person who hurt you. Like, if that is your best friend and that person, like, hurt you real bad, like, I'm thinking, you know, betrayed your trust, like, got with someone, like, got with your boyfriend type of vibe, then I do think that obviously reflects on who that person is. And if I was the friend, then I would also be questioning, like, if they do it to my friend, then would they be able to do it to me? And is this a person that I can...
You want to have in your life.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think the exact same thing. I think it's so dependent on the context of the situation. But if the actions that that person did that caused the hurt and the pain, if that reflects their, like, values, and actually you then find out that they're not, like, good people, or they actually had bad intentions, then yeah, it makes me question, like, why would I actually want to be friends with someone that's capable of doing that to someone else? So I would definitely reflect on it, but then I'd also take into consideration, like you said, there's two sides of every story. Maybe, like, hurt people. So I'm also like, doesn't mean that you can forgive it, but also I would just take that into consideration, that, like, you'd hope that if you're friends with them at the beginning, that they're not bad people. So I think just, like, go into the situation with empathy. But I think it's okay also to cut off people that you know have caused harm to people that you love, you know?
Completely agree. Yeah. I also think you can set your own boundaries, and I think you have to be clear, because sometimes it's not as clear as you think that you are hurt by someone. Like, I was in a situation a couple of years ago. I feel like we spoke about this on the podcast. I don't actually know, but someone... Can I say the situation?
Yeah.
Like, someone got with someone that I was not, like, in a relationship with, but, like, in a situationship with. And I was upset by it.
Long ago.
Yeah, and I was upset by it, but I feel like I also... I felt like maybe it's not in my right to be upset because it wasn't, like, a defined thing. Like, because it wasn't, like, a relationship. And because that person was also hurting because... it hurt them in their own life by doing that. But then I continue, because this person was in our friendship group, I feel like I also couldn't make too big of a deal about it, because I didn't want people to stop, have to make a choice because of something that happened to only me. So in that situation, I think I took a while to realize that I was allowed to feel her, and I was allowed to communicate my feelings and, like, actually express that did hurt me, because I think that's also, like, the people pleaser in me. I mean, especially, again, this was, like, 2021 when this all happened. And then long story short, it ended up emerging that this was a pattern. Like, she ended up doing the same thing that she did to me to multiple other people in our friendship group, which led to, you know, the friendship dissolving naturally with a lot of us. And then other people in the friendship group made the decision to, you know, again, also in a way cut ties because of the pattern that had emerged. And I think that is also, in a way, a good example of, like, sometimes I think it is a reflection of, like, what that person is able to give to friendships at that point in time. I'm not saying that that girl is a bad person, because I definitely don't think she is whatsoever. I don't even think she had malicious intent. I just think she, in that scenario, wasn't able to provide, like, what I needed from a friendship in terms of loyalty. And same
she was making choices and doing actions that had consequences and caused hurt and confusion to everyone else. I feel like in that moment you're entitled to be like, okay, this relationship isn't serving me the way I want it to serve me. So you made a decision.
So I feel like, basically why I told this story, I feel like I learned from that I should have set my boundaries sooner. And I should have communicated also to my friends that certain things did hurt me. And it took me a long time for me to be able to open up to my friends about how I actually felt, because I think for a long time I just pretended like everything was fine because I didn't want to cause a rift. And I think that's also, I understand why I did that, but I also think that now if things were happening the same way, I would act very differently, and I think I would hopefully communicate things sooner to give my friends the chance to respond and form their own opinions.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing as well. If you're the friend that was hurt, I don't think you should give an ultimatum to your other friend to be like, pick me or pick her. Like, you need to make a decision. You should hope that they will make a decision that's actually best. And if they were like proper friends and they knew the extent of the hurt, give them the chance to make that decision for themselves. And if anything is triggering you by the fact that they are friends, just set boundaries as well. Be like, if you want to continue being friends with that person, that's fine. But I don't want to hear that person's name, or I get triggered by hearing about this person. So whenever we're hanging out, I don't want like that to be a thing, you know?
Yeah. Or just try and like almost emotionally distance yourself from that person. You know, like if you are at the same events as this person because you're still friends with them,
that's when it gets hard as well. It's like, oh, so awkward.
Yeah, but I feel like it's almost like, well, you don't owe them to then have your night ruined or your day ruined or not go to places because they're there also, you know? Like, you deserve to have a good time, and I think sometimes you have to almost just like put like an emotional wall up and be like, I'm just almost going to pretend that they're not there because I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to focus on my friends. If they're in a group, like, whatever, I'm going to still carry on doing me.
Yeah. Which can be hard to do.
Yeah.
You should do it.
And I think, it depends on, like, how badly they have hurt you and how much time has passed. Like, how healed from the hurt you are.
Yeah. I've stopped being friends with people because they've hurt people I know.
Yeah.
And I've made that choice. I'm like, I'm not going to hang out with someone that can do that.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Everything happens for a reason.
I agree. And I do think that sometimes those situations like do make clear like who good friends are, but at the same time you can't expect people to know your inner thoughts. So I think that's where sometimes things can get difficult if you're immediately like, oh, I think they're not a good friend because they've not stopped hanging out with that person.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like we need to move on to the next question, but please let us know how you're doing and how the situation evolves. And you can always give more context, and like our DMs are always open. Okay. I feel like this is a good one. This next one is how to share stuff with friends but don't want to feel like a burden. In brackets, I'm doing therapy but still want to share.
Yeah. Okay, can I start answering this one?
Absolutely.
Okay, I love this question purely because I think that was all, like, even with my friendship with Leo, that was the mindset I had going into it, was like guarded, like no one needs to know about your issues, whatever. And I wanted to be that person that was like there to support my friends. But the thought of like me opening up and sharing my thoughts and my hurt and my trauma or whatever seemed like the hardest thing to do, because I had that mindset of like, it's too much for anyone to handle. I don't want to put that burden. But you realize, again, through actually sharing that and sharing that side of yourself that you build so much better connections and deeper connections with your friend. So I would not question it as it being a burden on them. Sometimes it can be like emotionally overwhelming for your friend to have to like constantly hear your trauma or like whatever you're talking about. So like I think there's moments to take into consideration, like, okay, maybe they're not in the mood at this moment to hear about whatever's going on, but don't go into it thinking you opening up about how you're feeling is a burden to your friend, because it is not. Like, that's what friendships are for. It's to be there during your good times, during your low times, when you need a chat, whatever it is. Setting boundaries is important. We use the word boundaries all the time. It's kind of annoying. But I think that is the case. Like, sometimes it can be exhausting if, like, that's all you are to that friend. Is, like, all you have to... Like, I'm just picturing an example. If I have a friend that's, like, every day messaging me about issues and I feel like I'm now their, like, emotional punching bag. Yeah. That's obviously not good. So there needs to be a balance of it being, like, a two-sided friendship where, like, both are respecting each other's lives and what they're going through and what they need. But yeah, I don't think it should be seen as a burden.
I agree. I feel like if you put yourself in the position of your friends, like if you like reverse it and you think about how you feel when your friends come to you about things that like they're going through and they're unloading about.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Like, I'm sure you just feel honored that they would feel safe enough with you that they can share it with you, and you just want to help them as best as possible. Like, sometimes you don't have the right answers, and I think sometimes that can also be pressure on, like, from a friend's perspective. Like, sometimes I feel like you just want to help your friend, but you don't always have the answers. But I feel like you always just want to hear it and want to help that person. I agree, obviously there is like limits, you know, to it, but I think exactly, that's like what friends are there for. And I do think it's good to have your own outlet in a way first in some scenarios. Like, I think it's great that you're going to therapy where almost you're already like talking through things in your head and you're probably already like come to certain conclusions, or don't even have to go to therapy. Like, I think sometimes it's good to journal about things and then you come to certain conclusions or you have certain thoughts, and then it's, I think, a great idea to go to your friends and be like, oh my god, I just had this therapy session and I realized XYZ, like, or I was journaling about this thought today and like I've realized XYZ is bothering me still more than I thought, or I'm finding it hard to like get through the day, and I think it just helps your friends understand you better, like, especially if you're going through a tough time.
That's so true.
Because we also got a question, which is like how to be there with your friends when like you're not doing... I'm trying to find like the exact question. Maybe, I don't know if we screenshotted it, but it was like how to still be a good friend, or like be a friend when you're in such a low place that like you actually don't have much to give anymore. And I think that's also
how to maintain friendships when you feel depleted.
That's the one. I feel like that almost also goes into it, because how I think the only way to do that is just to share honestly about how you're feeling, and if they're good friends, they're going to understand and they're just going to keep reaching out, and or be like, oh, how much, like, do you want me to reach out? Or I understand that, you know, you don't have much to give at the moment, and that's totally fine. Like, again, there's ebbs and flows with any friendship, same as with relationships, and as long as that is the case, like, as long as there is some type of give and take, and it's not like what you were saying, that like it's always one person just quote unquote like offloading, then it's all perfectly fine. And I think, again, it's also something that you can express to your friend, that like, please let me know when this is ever getting too much, or I'm worried that I keep always, you know, I'm bringing you down, or I'm bringing the mood down. And then I'm sure that friend will either be like, I think like we should just go out and have fun and like talk about something else, but like tomorrow I'm back again. or
even like
no,
dedicate like 10 minutes to talk about it, and then be like, right, let's have a fun time and like whatever, you know. With the whole like maintaining friendships when you feel depleted, I feel like that's okay. It's not my example, but I know someone that was going through a really, really, really rough time, to the point where like even messaging a friend, or like they'd see a message from a friend, and then like they just couldn't reply because they were like, I do not have any energy to like talk to anyone. In the ideal scenario, the friend would understand. So I think the key thing is like communicate. So even if you just send one message to be like, listen, I'm going through a tough time. I know you're here for me, but I actually need space. I need to step back. It's nothing against our friendship, whatever. I think it's fine to like communicate that. And hopefully your friends, in this scenario that I'm talking about, the friends were so good. Like they'd keep sending messages to be like, no need to respond. Just want you to know I'm thinking of you, love you, whatever. Which I know my friend appreciated.
Yeah.
Even if she wasn't replying to that. But then it gets to the point where like, okay, eventually you need to either rely on them to support you, or I don't know, you need to find a way to like reciprocate it, because it might then get to a point where like it's a year into the friendship and you haven't shown any, like they're also going through stuff, you know? So I think it's like finding a way to like take that moment, like take a step back, do whatever you need to do, but also realize that there's these people that you know are caring for you might also need that in return, you know? Which can be so hard to do when you're feeling depleted. So I don't know, it's like find a way to find a way. Such great advice. Just fucking find a way to do it. I don't know. Even if it's like dedicating one weekend to like go see them, have like a good girls' time, like enjoy each other's company, remind each other that you are there for each other, whatever. And just set expectations. Like you're probably not going to be able to message them all the time, but you still do show that you care, because those are the friendships that matter the most, you know? Ones that are willing to check in on you when you don't even have the energy to respond, you know?
Yeah. I feel like it is about prioritization in a way, and sometimes your priority is just going to be to like keep yourself alive, and you know, sometimes you just have to set boundaries, and oh my god, drink every
boundaries
time I say boundaries.
Boundaries is the word of this episode.
It is. No, but I think sometimes you just have to be exactly what you said. Like sometimes you just can't respond. You just don't have it in you. And I think 90% of people will be able to understand, or 90% of your friends will be able to understand. But I think also it could be that if, like what you said, like it's a year or a prolonged period of time, that obviously your friendships might change as a result. You know, you can't expect things to be exactly the same, or for you to have been exactly as kept in the loop of like what people have been going through on the other side, if you weren't there to be able to be responsive to that. That doesn't mean that the friendship is over. Like I think it's still very possible that you can just like rebuild it after that. And again, if it's a true friend, they're gonna have understood. And I think but again, it's not, you can't expect that the other person will just be exactly the same as when
they would have had a whole lot, like a year's worth of stories, experiences, new friends and stuff, and that's their life would have changed. Doesn't mean they're leaving you behind and stuff. It just means that, you know, things have changed, and it
doesn't mean that they're going to be resentful. Like I had a situation where I had a friend who I've known for a very long time, and we kept like, we were long distance friends, like we had met, you know, on an exchange, and so we were always long distance, like from the age of, we were 14, but we kept very, very regular contact, like through like voice messages, and we used to mail each other letters and like do boxes for each other and stuff like that. And we saw each other quite a bit. And then she went through a very, very difficult time mentally, like very, very dark. And I was obviously trying to be there for her, but there were times where like she then just kind of went dark for, I think it was like about 2 years, where I knew she was okay, because like I saw that she was like still posting things and stuff, but like she just wasn't replying to my messages. And she recently like reached back out again and being like, oh my god, you know, when you've ghosted someone for so long, that it then is just even more awkward to unghost someone.
You just reintroduce yourself. You're like, hi, remember me?
Yeah. And I never felt like upset at all, because like, again, I knew exactly where she was coming from, and I wasn't expecting anything. But obviously now I don't know what's going on in her life, and she doesn't know what's going on in mine. Like I don't even know if she knows that I've moved. But I still feel very confident that like she's a person that like if we see each other again, we can just catch each other up, and you know, I'm always going to consider her a friend. It's just like the friendship has changed, and that's okay. And I think especially with long distance friends, it's even harder, because you have like that as your only type of communication, or like someone can't just like go over to your house and be like, hi, I'm thinking of you, like I brought you some food, I'm leaving again.
Like let's have a tea for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think that just to like end kind of this question, I think that as you say, priorities are important, and with this, I think instead of worrying about how to maintain the friendships, focus on why you're depleted and focus on yourself. Like put yourself first in this. Try, I don't know, make you your own priority in terms of like how do you make sure that you're getting that energy back, you're becoming yourself again, putting yourself out there. Because once you work on yourself, then those friendships will be maintained, you know?
yeah,
So
that's true. Or you'll
focus on
make,
yourself.
yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, because you can't pour from an empty cup. So you also won't be the best friend if you just like keep
Exactly.
trying to give and give and give, but actually you're feeling like, you know, completely emotionless inside, or
Yeah.
feel like it's draining you every time. Because then it's also not
Yeah.
going to be actually a good friend to the other people. But you've got
Exactly.
this. We believe in you.
You got this. Okay.
Okay, should we answer one more question?
Yeah. Should we do the how to get over the friendship validation feeling?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
What do you think they mean by this question?
I'm seeing it as just, okay, I'm seeing two different things. Either like, you know, when you feel, and I've definitely been guilty of this, like any decision I make, I need to get it validated by my friends first, or like any outfit I buy, or like anything that you feel like you need the validation of your friends before you're able to proceed. Or I see it as like you're validated by almost how many friends you have, or like what friends you have, and that's kind of the two ways I'm seeing it. How are you interpreting it?
I'm seeing it as like the constant need for your friend to validate you that they like you and they enjoy spending time with you and that they consider you a friend.
I feel like that's probably what they mean.
Because I know a lot of people struggle with that. They're like so shocked that this person actually likes them.
Yeah.
And it's like that need for your friend to constantly validate you that they do enjoy spending time with you and they want to, you know, be your friend and do things with you.
So how have you felt this feeling before?
Yeah, 100%.
How do you get over it?
I think I'm still going through it. I'm like, people want to spend time with me. I have friends. What the hell? No, I think it's just reminding yourself why do they want to spend time with you? Because you're a nice person, because you're funny, because you care about others, because you're kind. Like, you know that you're a good friend. So you don't need for other people to tell you this. Remind yourself of who you are, what you bring to the table, what you bring to friendships, how you love others, how you love yourself as well. And then you don't need to be validated because you know what you bring. And if you don't feel like they appreciate you, I guess maybe I'm thinking like maybe this person needs like more words of affirmation. So maybe communicate that to your friend, be like, I need reassurance in this relationship. And then maybe that friend could like just be a bit more vocal on how they value the friendship, and that can help. But also it's just realizing like if they're wanting to spend time with you and they're opening up to you and you're having fun together and stuff, that is the validation. I don't think you need much more than that, you know? Yeah. But I still think that as well.
Really?
Like you, Theo messaged me the other day being like, oh, I'm coming to London in February and I'm booking a hotel and I want you to stay over. And I was like, not me? Like out of all your friends? Thank you.
That's so funny as well, because like I feel like we have so much validation in
I
our
know.
friendship. You should know.
No, I know.
we're
But I'm like, you
besties
literally have
forever.
so many friends. So I'm like, that's nice.
Best friends forever and
Oh
ever.
my God, stop it.
Yeah.
I just asked for validation indirectly and she gave it to me.
See, perfect
There you go.
example. Yeah, I feel like the only advice I have to give, I've definitely also felt this before, of like, I feel like you just, I mean, words of affirmation are always nice, and I think I'm also that type of, that's also definitely something I need.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's either, asking for it, but I think asking for it. I think it's very much about working on your own confidence, as with most dilemmas in life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking sucks, but like I think it all goes back to
That's the answer.
you actually becoming your own friend, and you actually valuing yourself for who you are as a person, regardless of what you have or what your circumstances are, and realizing what you bring to the table. And then I think the validation thing becomes less important because you give yourself enough validation. And that is pretty hard. We do have an episode actually all about like how to be your own best friend. So maybe you can also go listen to that.
Go listen to that one.
Okay.
Wait, can we answer one more? Like super quick.
Okay.
It was just the one, because I find this so juicy and I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Okay.
The question was just what to do when you feel uncomfortable in the presence of your best friend's boyfriend.
That's hard.
Because I think that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Because you obviously choose your friends, but you don't really have a choice on who your friend is dating.
No.
And if they like them, then you kind of have to just deal with their presence because they're going to start being invited to things.
Yeah.
And like you end up having, it's almost like an arranged friendship. Like you kind of become their friend, not by choice. But like, what do you do when you're uncomfortable? Because that
uncomfortable
is
is bad as well.
I guess it's like, why are you feeling uncomfortable? Are they doing anything inappropriate that is making you feel that way? But also imagine telling your friend, like, I don't like your boyfriend.
No, because I think you can't do that in a way. Because I feel like it's not your place, like it's not your relationship. I do think you can express certain concerns or be like, you know, I've noticed, like, for example, if he's not treating you quite, like, if he's not treating your friend quite right, and you're just like, oh, I've noticed this when I've been together with you, like, how are you, like, am I perceiving it wrong? Or if it's like actually the boyfriend's being a dick to you, then like, or doing something that actually makes you uncomfortable, then I do feel like you can bring that up. I also think I don't know if this is bad advice. I think sometimes it's also about like cross-checking your feelings. Like we've had the situation where it's almost like, oh, are other friends also seeing this? Like, is it only you? And maybe is it something that like maybe you're too protective of your friend, or maybe you're almost like jealous of this new person, and maybe you haven't given yourself enough time to actually get to know him and he's actually a good guy? Or is it actually a pattern of behavior, you trust your gut instinct, and other people maybe are also seeing the same thing, in which case that's because I think both could be true. Yeah.
I think uncomfortable is a big word, so figure out why is he making you feel that way.
Yeah.
And then react based on that. Because you'll know. Like, you'll know if this uncomfort is like a you issue or if it's a him issue. And if it's a him issue, then you can speak to your friend about it in the nicest way. Yeah. And also maybe know that your friend will probably be annoyed that you're bringing it up. Yeah. And like, it might cause like a rift. But then if he isn't the right guy, she'll find out for herself. Yeah. You know? So trust in her as well that she'll make the right decision.
Yeah, and she'll probably will be defensive, like especially if she's in love with this guy and feels happy in the relationship. So I think there's also a certain point where like you have to either decide that that's your boundary and you're like, I can't be friends with you or I can't be in I can't be in the same room with like, or like at the same gathering if your boyfriend's also here, because I feel that uncomfortable that you're with him, or I feel that uncomfortable around him. Or I think at some point you almost have to be like, I've made my feelings about him clear, but I'm still, you know, I'm choosing to still be there and whatever.
Okay.
It is hard.
It is very hard.
My tea bag just fell in the tea. Is there any worse feeling?
Oh, when it's like, what is it?
So chuggy now. Should I read the yogi tea quote to end this episode?
Yes,
Get in touch with yourself.
I feel like that's perfect for this episode.
Perfect. Get in touch with yourself, and then all your friendship dilemmas will just magically vanish into thin air.
Bye. Gone.
We got a lot of questions on long distance friendships and making friends in a new city, which I think some of it we've already answered in past episodes, but maybe we have to do a whole dedicated other episode about it.
Long distance friendships.
Long distance and the new friends vibes. And also like late 20s making friends. Cara's not in her late 20s yet, but I am. So
I'm still in my mid 20s.
She's so young. She's a young little chicken.
I'm a little baby.
She's a little baby. Okay. Thanks guys for listening. Everyone. We hope you enjoyed, and well, you'll see us very soon in the second episode of this installment. And if you like the advice segments, we could also do them a bit more regularly. We got so many questions, so we could even answer like one or two questions in some other episodes if you wanted us to.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Bye.